shop. It's not like I ever leave, really. And I've got my piece of CRB, or 80 CRB2 in the porch. And it is up to temperature. Let's move my super quench. I want to bring it over here to the power hammer, and I'm going to start drawing out that bar because I'm dealing with 2-inch wide, 3/8 inch thick 80 CRB2. It's a lot more material than I need for this build. I don't just want to grind it away or just cut it off. So I'm going to start forging this out into a long bar, see how much I get, and then I'm going to go from there. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. And be sure to check out the links in the description. Right. So here's what I've got. September 6th and 7th, Cheyenne and I will be with Robbie Bowman down at the Turtle Island Preserve in Boone, North Carolina. If you're going, that sounds a little familiar, that'd be Eustace Conway from Mountain Men. The Turtle Island Preserve that he's created and all. We'll check in just a few. We're going to be doing some foraging and having a pretty good time in the process. So this is a knife that I made the first time we went down. I carried it down there a couple different times. Well, I said, you know what? We weren't down there last year. So I want to make a new Turtle Island Bowie. Okay, I decided to go with 80 CRB2 because it's a really cool steel to work with, and I like the results I get. Now I don't have a precise design sketched out. I'm going to be forging this 2-shape. It's going to be forged near to finish. I believe I'm going with an elk antler handle and a forged hot pick guard. Now that guard, I have not decided on if it's going to be an S guard, if it's going to be a D guard. I haven't got to that point yet. It may be a knuckle bow, it may not be. But I do believe I'm going to go with a long clip recurve for the blade style. Nathan Bennett, how you doing? All right, guys, we're going back to the power hammer. Growing out pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my power hammer because I want to grab an Allen wrench and maybe tighten that down. It may not need it, but it's better to do a little PM, a little preventive maintenance on this. That one was loose just a bit. All right. So now, I'm doing well, Nathan. Appreciate it. Joseph, how's it going? Chevron 64, how you doing? All right. Thank you. It's Raymond Head made that. I believe in, I think it was Arkansas. I got it from Robbie Bowman. So, I want to bring this up to temp. I'm drawing this material out to see what I can get out of it. How much material, what length. I'm starting with 2-inch wide by 3/8 inch thick. 80 CRV2 that I got from New Jersey Steel Baron back in June when I was Blade Show. So, we're up to temp again. I'm just working this out, drawing it out into a long bar. I started with the foot. I'm guessing we'll probably end up at 26, 28 inches by the time I'm done. If you haven't subscribed, do it. Walking on me. A little more. So I can draw this out quite a ways, but I don't want to overforge it. Now, overforging would be getting it too thin, would be drawing parts out too long. So just going to see how this works, how it goes. Reinhardt, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so what I will be doing, I'm going to bring that up to temp, and then I'm just going to continue to draw that out. Of course, I don't want a flat end bar. I plan on doing a long clip, so I'll probably go ahead and draw the tip out on that. Now, what I should probably do is find a, unless I have one. No, there's a tape measure. See, I think I put mine in the other room. And I'm going to use my anvil for a reference so that I can try to determine how long of a piece of steel I'm creating. Once more. Okay, this is about 25¼ inches overall length here. I want to try to get at least here. We're going to see how that goes. Let's see. Why not fab a fixture to hold to hold material straight in the hammer? I could. I make a lot of knives, a lot of different styles. So, generally, like, I would use my press. I just don't have the press up in here. Chip, there is a link in the description to Axon Main Forge Memory. It's a Facebook link. You can check that out. We're in the process of setting up the e-commerce page. And yes, I sell a lot of knives. Always use, but is the anvil 300 pounds? No, the anvil is probably 165, 180. It's not too bad. Yep. Okay, Chip, we will have, you can also message us if you like. All right. Well, if you can see in the forge there, what can I? That's coming up to temp pretty good. You have a 300-pound anvil? That's awesome. I have many anvils, but none are 300 pounds. I have worked on some larger anvils. Those are awesome. Okay, about to jump the gun there. The steel coming up to temp, it's doing well, looking good, but there's a section of it on the end that really isn't up to forging temp yet, and I don't want to forge that too cold. Now, I have a lot of ambient light here, so depending upon where I'm at in the shop, sometimes this steel looks cooler than what it actually is because of the light that's in the room. Other times it looks a lot hotter than what it is. King House 8090. This is also a Peter Wright. Depending upon what kind of hammer you're looking for, I started out with a 25-pound Little Giant, and then I went to I have this power hammer now. This tire hammer made by Raymond Head. It's got a 75-pound head, and I'm trying to think. There is Big Blue, of course, Yang, and I want to say that Coal Iron is doing a hammer as well. Definitely check them out. So I've got one end of this. You're very welcome, King's House. I've got one end of this that is about the thickness that I want. One of the lesser talked about tools in the blacksmith shop might be the caliper. But let's run this to a 1/4 inch. I know we're still over a 1/4 inch on that as far as thickness. So I'm going to run it up to 3/8. On that end, we're just at 3/8. So we're at the thickness. I'm at the thickness of the parent stock, what it originally was, and I'm going to continue drawing that out. Some of that's going to get down to 3/16 to a 1/4 inch. So. 3/6, wanting to do a taper on it, and that going to be either medial ridge or spine, most likely spine. So I like to have just a cheap caliper that do a steel caliper, of course. Sometimes check my thicknesses, and one thing that I like to do with this, when I go to do a guard fit up, is I like to come up here and find my thickest point. And I know that's how wide I've got to make my the slot in my guard, so I use that quite a bit. Cool little piece. You can pick them up for not very much, probably under $20, maybe half that. And if you get it on sale, maybe even better. That's cool. Yeah. We don't do as much decorative iron work, but we do some art pieces. All right, the next couple heats, I'm going to be drawing that down because I'm probably at 1/2 inch or more. Oh yeah, King's House, it is not hard to get behind on orders, or rather get a lot of back orders going. When demand is high, hey, when it rains, that's when you eat well, right? So making a point to take what work I can get at any point. I just just sharpened up and did some repair to some brush hog blades for a farmer locally. So sometimes it's stuff like that, sometimes it's blades, sometimes it's artistry. It's all artistry, just a matter of how it's appreciated, I suppose. If you haven't subscribed, it's a great time to do so. And go back into the camera. So the first Turtle Island Bowie, which I have in the case over there, I think it comes in just a little under 20 inches, like 19 and a half. Do I have a swedge table? No, I don't. Thank you for subscribing, but I do have some swedge blocks down here. Oh. I do have a swedge block here and then down here that I use a lot of times when I'm doing axe making, or occasionally when I'm doing gouges or chisels. J Forge and Fishing, how's it going? Well, good deal. Glad it's going well at the moment. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start drawing the tip down on this. Which, as thick as it is, I may just use a power hammer. When you've got the equipment to use it. Now, I started with a 2-inch wide by 3/8 inch thick by approximately 12-inch long piece of 80 CRV2. I said I'd probably hit 26, 28 inches once I got it drawn out. At some point I'm going to cut it. Now, I'm not sure when that's going to be, but it will be soon. But first, I'm going to get my material drawn out because I want to work that in full bar form, because there's always a possibility that I could be like, oh, I have a different idea, I want to go a different route. But I need to get that into a usable form, or a more usable form. King's House, I'd imagine it would take a lot of effort. I'm hoping to use a tractor or something to move a swedge table, because those are, anvils are heavy. Those are ridiculously heavy and awkward. You get the best of both worlds on those. Now I could draw this out a lot longer, but it's going to be a lot narrower, and that's not what I want to do here. So what I'm looking at is I'm going to do some forging on the power hammer and basically get done what I can get done, and then I will be I'll be doing some hand forging. The majority of it's probably going to be power hammer. King's House, I have heard about the old railroad blacksmith shops, and I actually met an old man. I don't think he's around anymore. This is probably about 20 years, 15 to 20 years ago. And I was forging and doing a demonstration at an event, and he came up and he told me that he was the apprentice in a shop, and I guess he was the apprentice. He was at least an assistant. And he went in, and he said the old man showed him how to start a fire, and he said, I want you to start exactly that way every morning. And they did coal forging in their shop. So I know some did gas, some did the oil burners, but in theirs they did coal forging. All right. Well, I was going to bring the steel over, but I wanted to keep just a little bit longer, time-wise and also on length. I adjusted the steel. I want to make a nice continuous bar, so wherever I end up cutting that off, it works well. So we'll give it just a couple more moments, and there we go. So, King's House, was it a forged table or was it a brick forge with fire pot? I'm curious about that. Very cool. I'll tell you what, Forge and Fishing, I love that name because it's like these are two great pastimes. So that's a brick forge, cool. So I actually have an antique gas forge in the other room I'm going to restore at some point. I forged with coal for about 20 years, and I still do on occasion, but what I found is that gas is a lot cleaner, a lot faster, and I don't burn my steel up near as often. I still like doing coal. All right, going to the power hammer. All right, now the tip that is currently on this piece of steel is not the tip I want on there. And the reason being because it would be short like this, and I don't like this knife. This is this blank. I'm going to reforge it as well at some point. That one's 1080, this is 80 CRB2. I want to do an elongated, long clip, and preferably, it's what I'm going to shoot for is a recurve. I just like recurves, and I find that they are quite efficient in use. Oh my God. I had dental work yesterday, I had 3 teeth taken out, and I think I'm talking too much this morning. That's starting to hurt. Woo. That's very cool, King's House, and props to you for keeping the antique pieces alive and giving them a new life. Everybody should give you a thumbs up for that. So that's awesome. I've got some tongs that I've since passed on to my daughter that were either my great-grandpa's or great-great-grandpa's, and got a lot of stuff like that, man. It's awesome to keep it going. We're in Central Illinois. It's where we're at. All right, back to the power hammer. temp in the forge. I want to start working on the tip again. I'm going to start drawing that out. And I do believe we're going to make at least 25 and a half inches on this one. It's not necessary to draw it out to the 26 or 28. I could, but I'm going to be doing a robust hidden tang for this knife, so that'll end up getting drawn out as well. A 12-inch blade is probably going to be sufficient on this, realistically. Northwest South Carolina for forage and fishing. Very cool. We actually teach down at the Turtle Island Preserve in Boone, North Carolina. It's one of the Carolinas, maybe not yours, but we do get down around that way, you know, kind of in that area occasionally. I think this is the Atlas Mini. It's non-adjustable burner. I won that on an auction for Warrior's Way, and I gotta say that I will be buying another one. Oh, very cool. Very cool. The opening on this. Very good output. It fell down. Probably about a 3.5 inch opening. I can do small axes and tomahawks, but I can't do big axes in it. I have done pretty decent sized knives that are like 1080 that don't require that much of a soak. But I usually have to get out some of my other gas forges, the bigger ones, to do longer blades. Right. Do I plan on upgrading my forge? I have multiple forges. I've got multiple forges, anvils, grinders. What you see here is just a small percent of what I have. But yeah, I'm always into upgrading material and equipment. Does it have an eccentric? Are you talking about it's like the type of flame that swirls around the inside? Yeah, the opening it appears to be about 3.5 inches, 3.5, 4 inches, somewhere in there. I'm not sure the exact model, but I gotta say I can run about 18 hours off a 20 pounder. It's pretty efficient. Really happy with it. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. And we're coming back to the pool. And back to the hammer. I keep wanting to make this knife about 24 inches overall length, but that'll be using majority of the material that I have with the 80 CRV2. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start getting an idea about the length of the blade I'm looking for, and I'm in about that range. I think that'll work. Now, how long is that? I don't know. So while that's heating up, let's go to the fork, or go to the anvil here, so I can use it for drawing. So if I make my blade about that long, that's going to be about 12.5 inches. So I'm going to end up with something about 18 inches or so when I'm done. I could run it out to about 14. So we do 14. I need about, I probably need close to 16 inches overall length on this steel for the piece that I'm going to be using. And honestly, most of this is still 3/8 of an inch thick. I need to get down to a quarter at least. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start feeding this into the forge. Start at the tip and start working that down to about a 1/4 inch. So right now, where am I at here? I'm literally just under 3/8 of an inch. So that gives me an idea about where I'm at. This is a tough steel, but I do like it. Oh, I'm not sure, man. You can. Pretty basic setup. Honestly, not familiar with that actually. Okay. Wearing down, have not had breakfast yet today. But I will be we'll be getting this drawn out and cut and maybe tank forged onto, or tank forged out of it, not onto it. Won't be doing any welding to this. We want to keep one solid piece of high quality, homogeneous, high carbon steel. Almost sounds like something a farmer would tell you. This is some. All right, you guys ready? All right, fun part of the process. So taking a small, thick, heavy piece of steel and drawing it out into a longer, not as thick, heavy piece of steel. There you go. So, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to continue to work down this bar and try to even out the thickness. And then I will see where we're at on length and cut it to length from there. But I have a feeling I'm probably going to cut off about 10 inches of this, realistically. Man, I wish I was heating faster. So I need one of those coal iron induction forges. Right there. All right. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. Guys, we got more builds coming up. There's other videos on firearm reviews, knife making, blacksmithing in general, outdoors fun stuff, sword and knife reviews. It's not ready yet. But, yeah, I'll leave my hammer on. I usually don't leave it on unless I'm continuously working on it, doing batch work or something like that. Wow, that is really starting to hurt. Maybe I should talk less. All right. Okay, what you didn't get to see, because I was over here and I forgot to turn the camera, was that I've now turned that around. So what I was holding on to with the tongs is now in the forge, and the tip of the blade is now protruding from the forge. So what that'll do is just allow me to hold on to that thinner area I've already forged out and start heating and beating those heavier parts. Somebody's going to throw out a "that's what she said." Okay, so I want to talk to you guys real quick while that's heating up about some of the links in the description. There's a Facebook link for Axon Main Forge Memory. That's where I'm at here. That's our business here in St. Elmo. And so I got Axon Main Forge Memory. And then there is a link to Iron Mountain Metalcraft. Definitely check out Iron Mountain Metalcraft. And Forge Memory Family. After that, you're going to find perhaps Turtle Island Preserve, where you can sign up for those classes September 6th and 7th, as well as some other cool classes. Spam calling. They offer a lot of different classes, a lot of different events down there. So definitely check that out. You're going to find a link to Purgatory Ironworks on YouTube and TrentTie.com. So be sure to check those out. And I will very, very shortly be back on the power hammer here. And we're going to run that through. We're going to try to do a little longer heat, and I'm going to try flipping back and forth because I think that my dies are not completely level, and that one side hits a little bit lower than the other, or it could just be wear. All right. Sometimes it takes a while to work that steel out. Very shortly here, I'm going to go ahead and figure out what dimensions of material I need, and we're going to cut off 8 to 10 inches of this. I kind of want to make like a 24 and a half inch short sword, D-guard recurve Bowie out of this. That's really what I'm wanting to do, guys. It's probably going to happen. I'm just thinking that would be something cool. It would be very cool. Got a lot of links here. Okay, so this is, I think I know where this is going. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. Now my question is, am I going to make that tang to pass completely through the handle so I can pin it on the end? Or am I just going to do a scrolled knuckle bow? I don't know yet. Stay tuned, we're going to find out. Turtle Island Bowie may end up being the Turtle Island short sword. I think it's going to be kind of elongated, recurve. I'm going to get a little longer heat on that because I want to try getting to the end of that material so I can start working back through on the profile and even everything out. Of course, I'm going to have to record, so once I get to length, I'm going to call it good from there. I can do that. We can do this. I can definitely do this. Die came loose. Start hearing that slapping sound, that means one of two things. Well, in blacksmithing, it means that die came loose on your hammer. In your social life, it may mean something completely different. once more, if you haven't subscribed, it's a great opportunity to do so now. And back into the forge. Got to go through, even out that material a little bit more, and then we'll be cutting the sides. Almost there. You don't want to forge it too cold. All right, so I think I know what I'm going to do, guys. Keep in mind this piece of steel is still quite hot. I'm going to try to remember the same thing so I don't burn myself. So I am probably, I may be at 24 inches on these, I don't know. But I'm guessing I'm close to, we're 23 3/4. That's close enough. This is 8. Yeah, I think about 16 inches would be sufficient on this. Yeah, let's do about 14.5 inches. And I'm going, this could be a really cool yatagan. But I said I was going to do my Bowie. Drawn out. Let's look at some dimensions. currently we're about 14 3/4 inches here. Let's go for like max width is a little over 1.5 inches. Thickness, we're right between 1/4 and 3/8. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to draw out the tang on this because I know that I need at least 4.5 inches of tang to fit my hand. I have a small hand. And realistically, I probably need to go at least a 5-inch tang. 6 is a bit overkill. So, you know, a lot of you guys are going, hey, I want to see you swing a hammer, not draw. But hey, we shoot for a 5-inch tang. Right there is going to be 5. There's 6. So I want to put a tang on this like a sword, something that's going to be okay for battle if you go into battle with it. I'm probably not going into battle, but just in case I do, I want it to work that way. All right. So, once that comes up to temperature, I want to start forging out that tang. And then I will probably turn it around, refine the shape of the tip, and go from there. Once more, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. I am really hoping that if I look over here, I've got a gallon of water. I do have a gallon of water over here behind the counter. Take some painkillers in just a bit. All right, guys. There we are. Not sure what happened there, but it had to reconnect. All right, so I'm going to be drawing a tang out. Now you don't want too square of a corner on your tang. This is going to be radiused in, hot bit guard. There'll be some work on this. Now the question is, do I do the hot bit before I grind it or after? I should probably do it after I grind it because that way I end up with a better fit. Now that blade's only, what, 1.5 inches wide. It's going to get out to probably 1 3/4 inches, maybe back to 2 inches by the time I'm done. lot of people want me to do more hand forging. I don't mind it, but I haven't been able to eat a lot the past couple of days. I'm definitely going to be using the power hammer for quite a bit of this. I've just been informed by our tech supervisor here that we are having some Wi-Fi issues in-house, so the feed may be a bit choppy. Stick with us. It'll fix itself, or we'll do another video. Thank you, Dave. Dave's our tech guy. So, okay, bringing that up to temp. I'm just about to 5 inches on that. Gotta talk to tech guy real quick. All right, guys. Let's get this thing drawn out. Go. Let's see where we're at. So we got our 5-inch mark. We are really well up to 5-inch mark. So I'm going to heat that up. I'm going to straighten it out just a little bit. I may want curvature in that handle later, or in that tang later. But not right now. So do a little bit of forging on that. Get my Trent and Tie Purgatory Ironworks hammer right here. It's getting beat to hell. The other end. So I am going to switch hammers, and I'm going to go to my Purgatory Ironworks. I think it's got a number 1 on it. Straight beam. I got this from Trent and Tie some years back. We have used these hammers on a daily basis for several years. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this up to temperature, and I'm going to start refining that tip. So wherever we're at lengthwise now it's going to get bigger. It's going to get to be a longer blade, it's going to get to be a wider blade, and it's going to develop some nice curves to it. As they mature, they develop nice curves and fun things to hold on to. And that's how you make knives. Some of them be like, that's how you end up with child support. But, that will work. I've got a set of offset bolt head tongs. Poorly made. That was an early attempt with some twist tongs modifying them, but it's going to work. Now we're going to do some hand forging here in just a moment. Oh look, it's been just a moment. There you go. That's looking a lot better. All right. So now I've got some thick, tough steel that I need to widen out, and I have a power hammer. We'll be going back to the power hammer here in a moment. So what I will do, I'm probably going to use a two-tong technique. So one, I'll have a set of tongs on the Tang, and then another set on the body of the blade. I'm going to be working that through and seeing what I can accomplish. This is not a complicated build. This is a cowboy knife. This is a frontier knife. And it's going to be well made. It's going to be better than the originals, I guarantee that, as far as durability and construction. But the steps are: forge the blade. After forging the blade, stock removal and heat treat, forging the guard, and I may forge the guard before the heat treat, I don't know. Forge the guard and hot bit. After heat treat and everything's done, it's going to be assembly. That's going to be adding the handle, drilling and pinning. I do plan to drill and pin, as well as do a poured pewter medallion for a butt cap in that crown stack. So let's see what happens. You guys ready? We've got a few steps, and each time I'm going to advertise for Turtle Island amongst other worthy sites and causes. Coming in. For those of you who are saying, well, why don't you just do that by hand? I mean, power hammer, why not? Okay, so what I'll be doing next is I'm going to go down the length of the blade, and I want to start widening it out. Then I'll go in and I'll do my hand forging. That's also probably when I start putting the recurve in, and it shouldn't take too long. The last Bowie I did when we went to Turtle Island before we got there, it took me a day and a half. I was using a 12-ton press and a larger forge, so it didn't take quite as long. This I played around with a little bit because I had to draw that material out, so always fun. Anybody want to tell me, what's your favorite blade style? I've heard some guys say Tonto, I've heard them say kukris, recurves, Bowies, drop points. I mean, like for using knife, myself, I do like a drop point. That right there is, that is a good squirrel cleaning knife right there. As well as fix us up for everything else. Least favorite blade style. I think crisp blades are cool, but not overly practical for daily use for me. I actually kind of like Warn Clip, sheep clip blades and so forth. Serration, not my favorite. It's got a place, but I don't use it as much as I used to. I just checked, it's not warm enough. I'm going to broaden this blade out, and then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to heat it up for the longer length of the blade, rather time-wise, but try to get most of the blade heated up, and I'm going to draw that under the power hammer, and it's going to forge down the higher point, which is the spine, and that's going to start putting that recurve in. And then I'll see what I need to adjust from there. Jumping the gun again. I had to slide the blade in the forge just a little bit more. We are almost there. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, back into the forge. I'm going to start at the shoulder, so the junction between at the tang and the blade. And it's really not between the tang and the blade, it is a transition. I'm going to get that up to temp and start bringing it under the power hammer. Now there's enough material there. I anticipate I'm going to have to straighten this out some and do some reforging on it. So it's coming down to that point where it's starting to look like a knife. I find that to be exciting, and maybe you do too. And if so, you should subscribe. And if not, you should subscribe and watch my videos anyway. It's likely I probably should use a two-tone technique on this. Especially when you get that much momentum, you get that much leverage, it's going to start bouncing on you. Getting real close. Now we'll go back into, I'll draw out that tip, see where I'm at on things. And this is, I make the joke, I tell people when they come in here, I said, forging is a lot like dating. You bounce between ugly and pretty, pretty, ugly, ugly, pretty, and hopefully you land on pretty. And that's the goal here, because I'm going back and forth, go from this looks like a knife to that definitely needs more improvement. But as long as you land on pretty, you're good. And if not, you don't tell your friends about it. We've all been there. But now we're going to go back to the forge, or back to the forge and to the power hammer. That is the recurve. Well, now it's time to start forging this out by hand. See, we're in at an hour, 17 minutes. So, it takes a little bit of time to do some forging. Now, if I was doing this all by hand, it would definitely be taking a lot longer. And I recommend forge closer to shape. Now, if you're forging perfect, you're forging perfect. If you're forging blanks, you're forging blanks. But when it comes down to it, there's so much more you can do with that material. Displace it, make it wider, make it longer, thicken it up. So upsetting and so forth. But when it comes down to it, it is really about being able to take that piece of steel and move it like it's Play-Doh or clay. Forge left-handed a little bit. See how that's starting to whiten out, get cool. We'll get back in the forge now. With this, I want to maintain my temperature. I don't want to let it get too cool. I don't want to chance stressing the steel while getting it too cool. It is warm. We'll be going down the length of the blade, widening that out. And so far, I've got a recurve long clip as I planned. I'm not seeing any new comments. So if you're commenting and I'm missing out on it, I do apologize. going to move back and forth on this until I get to where I want to be. There's not going to be a lot of grinding required when I'm finished with this, and that's what I'm shooting for. So I'll have just a subtle recurve to it. And I'm still probably going to go in and forge that tip just a little more because it is rather thick. And there's still a possibility it could go back under the power hammer briefly. Just even everything out. Be sure to like and subscribe. I should go get my water. You know what? Cheyenne's probably going to have to start on her Turtle Island knife. Because we've only got a couple of weeks before we'll be there. Much recurve in it now. This is one of those parts where you go, dude, it looked like you're about done. What's going on? Well, I'm expanding that edge, and now that edge that was curved down is relatively straight. So I'm either going to have to take that and beat it over the horn of the anvil, or use my hammer, or there's a possibility I'll check my thickness of the spine. I may be able to run it under the power hammer and put just a nice elongated recurve in that. That's what I'm really hoping. but I'm not there yet. Definitely no longer a recurve. Now it is just a big long Bowie 9-pitch blade. Let's make it more interesting. We're at a 1/4 inch. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to go ahead heat a good length of the blade, and I'm going to run it under the power hammer just to even everything out. And then I'm going to check it out from there. And that's also probably when I'll refine that tip if it needs it at that point. But this is going to elongate, and it's also going to even everything out just a little bit on thickness. Back here. Keep in mind, I may have to do some adjustment by hand on that recurve, that is called a curvature. That is very likely. One thing I'm going to have to do before I'm done, I'm going to have to heat that Tang, and I'm going to have to draw it out, because now I'm going to have a blade that's about a 1/4 inch thick and a Tang that's 3/8. Not ideal. I'm going to want to be essentially about the same thickness as the blade at the shoulder. Just about to the end of that. Let's see what happens. a little more time in the forge. Get on over here again. Curve to it, but not where I want it. All right, we're coming back around. And it's going to be working that tip. It's a bit thick right there. Now the fun part is going to be not getting the blade too thick because I'm forging this pretty close. One thing I'm seeing is that this is going to elongate some because I've got it thicker at kind of there's a swell right before the tang, before the shoulder, and I really don't like that, and I don't want to just grind it away, so I will probably forge that, and I need to heat that end anyway to forge that tang thing. What I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to turn this around, but I do want to get a measurement on width, and I'm guessing 1 3/4. I was wrong, 2 inch. Now, this is part of the process that is very frustrating because when I'm compressing steel that's tall, it's likely to try to roll or just distort, turn into a potato chip-like shape. And I want to make it happen, so I am going to be using my straight peen for this because it's a little lighter. And then I may end up having to go to a heavier hammer. One. This is when the knife could elongate some, it could grow a little bit. right now, but that's okay. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. A little more recurve display, but I'm not sure how far I want to chance it on making it too thin or anything like that. But hey, let's see what we can do. I think I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to straighten that damn thing out, even it out some, draw it out, and then start to put my recurve in. So I'm going to use a technique I use for making kukris and a lot of other recurves. I'm moving this back for a reason. Bring that up to a high temp, high heat. I'm going to strike that over the horn of the anvil to get it to drop, and then I got to correct it. I don't need a lot, but I need enough. Now I definitely have a recurve in it, and I'm liking it. That went a lot better than expected. So now, just going to be finishing out that blade. Normalizing I will likely do off camera. But we just about have the Turtle Island Bowie knife forged. Of course, forging is only part of the process. Keep watching. Keep watching for that heat. I'm going to start forging the spine towards the tip. I'm going to widen that out just a little bit. reevaluate the profile. Let's bring you guys up closer. I'm going to straighten that out. There's a little bit of wiggle in that. I'm going to correct that, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, take the opportunity to do so while this is coming up to heat. We are just about there. Have it. It's a long clip recurve. We'll go from there. Should probably check. Straightness ain't too bad on that. Well, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and do my thermocycling on this. You guys have a great one. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos, and more to come. Have a great one. We'll see you in a few.